Welcome back to Avert Alzheimer's, 5 Pillars of Alzheimer's Prevention. My name is Leanne, and I am your host. I still have crooked glasses. I am going to be closing out the sleep pillar tonight. This will be the last podcast on sleep. And what I want to talk to you about is how sleep rolls into the next pillar, which is exercise. But I also want to talk about how important it is for you to get 7 to 9 hours of sleep a night. So that's what you want to really focus on. I know that there are plenty of people out there who say that they can get 5 or 6 hours of sleep and they feel great the next day and they have all this energy, and that's wonderful. It truly is. I could do that plenty when I was growing up and when I was a younger adult. But for brain health, it's really important that you get 7 to 9 hours of sleep every night. There's a lot of healing that goes on, especially if you're in bed sleeping before 10 o'clock. There's the magic 10 to 2 hour. And if you can get to sleep by 10 o'clock and make sure you're sleeping through 2 o'clock, at least those 7 to 9 hours, then you are golden. I hope you like my beach scene. You're not seeing my office because it's just a mess. All right, so the next thing that we want to talk about is how exercise and sleep play a part with each other. So in one of the first podcasts that I did on the sleep pillar, I talked about how when you get up in the morning, your cortisol is high. When you go to bed at night, you want to make sure that you're getting your melatonin up. So the best time to exercise is in the morning, and that's really how sleep and exercise go hand in hand. So if you're going to work out at night, then you're going to elevate your cholesterol levels, which can definitely hinder your sleep. I want you to really pay attention to when you're going to sleep, when you're exercising, what your body's feeling, because if you're exercising after work and you're feeling that jolt of energy and you're finding it really hard to lay down and go to sleep at night, that's a clear indicator that you're raising your cortisol too high. And so that's really how the two play a part in each other's lives. I mean, there's more to it than that. Obviously, if you're exercising every single day or at least 5 days a week, whatever that looks like, you're going to sleep better than you would if you're not exercising at all. You need to move your body, and whatever that looks like, when we get into the exercise pillar, which I'll start next week, we'll talk a lot more about that. And I have a guest that I'm going to bring on to really dive into the exercise benefits for brain health. So this is just a really short podcast today. I just want to review a little bit about what we've talked about in our videos from here, or from podcast 1 of the sleep pillar until now. We talked about not exercising at night because it raises your cortisol. That was actually one of the first topics. Salt being essential for you to sleep because it helps keep you from peeing. We also talked about melatonin, and that as we get older, the melatonin decreases. So when we supplement it, though, our bodies don't think we're making it ourselves, and the body will not make the melatonin for you. So it's very important that you try to make sure you're doing all the things that you need to do to get good quality melatonin production within yourself. But after the age of about 55, people can probably start substituting it a little bit. Prior to that, you shouldn't need to. So if you're not getting proper melatonin, you need to make sure, the next topic, that your room is pitch dark, because melatonin produces better in the dark, and that you're not raising your cortisol. Because if your cortisol is high, your body can't produce melatonin. You can't have one up and the other up at the same time. It's just not possible. And finally, in the last episode, we talked about circadian rhythm and why that's important. And realistically, that's important because you want to make sure that you're treating your body respectfully every single day. Does that mean that you need to go to bed at 6 o'clock, or who goes to bed at 6 o'clock? My mom. Does that mean that you need to go to bed by 8:30, 9 o'clock every single night? Well, it means you need to go to bed within an hour of that timeline every single night, and you need to wake up within an hour of the same timeline every day. That's basically what that means. And when you don't do that, you knock yourself out of circadian, and that can be beneficial or detrimental to brain health over a long period of time of doing that. If you do it once in a while, not a big deal. But if you're doing it all the time, that's a big deal. So those are the topics that we touched on. If you're curious about any of those episodes, I will put links to them in the comments section below. I am always open to hear your questions. I would love to hear what you have to say, what you think, what your, suggestions might be for other people who are listening so that they have ideas of ways that they can get better sleep. I'm all ears because I am not a sleep expert. I just know enough about what we need for sleep for brain health. So please chime in all you want. And for now, I'm going to sign off and I will see you next week for the first episode of Exercise. Thank you so much for listening today. Please like, subscribe, push that notification button so you can be notified whenever I have new podcasts and YouTube videos out, and share this with your friends, anyone that you think might benefit from it. I'm so grateful you're here today, and I will see you next week.